What's up, everybody? Welcome to my first vlog of 2023. I'm here at Repticon, Baltimore. Let's go have a look at some awesome animals right here in the exhibition hall. First animal I had to show you guys is this beautiful elongated tortoise. These guys are from Southeast Asia, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, India, and parts of China too. These guys are one of the most endangered tortoises on the planet. But thanks to captive breeding, they're making a comeback. So these guys don't get as big as like a sulcata, but they'll get big, slightly bigger than a Russian tortoise. If you guys want a tortoise, something that gets a little bit bigger, but you need to have a little bit of experience, and make sure you guys know how long these guys live too, because some tortoises can live up to 100 years. Like a sulcata, I think I've heard records of up to 200 years, which is insane. But I think this is such a cool animal. What a way to start Repticon 2023. This is a beautiful, beautiful elongated tortoise. This is the normal.
Yep, and this baby here is a Polish orange sunset.
Polish orange sunset. So this is all polygenic stuff. These are so cool. I love blue tongue skinks. If you guys are looking for a cool animal, cool lizard that's a starter, a blue tongue skink could be for you. You don't have to take, if you don't want to eat your fixings on your burger, take it home to your skink, you eat dust. These guys are omnivores. You will eat dust. Some people feed them cat food. I love blue tongue skinks. You got many kinds. You got the easterns, the northerns. They've even got some albinos in Australia, but unfortunately there is just no export out of Australia. I think maybe if there's a world, like the World Association of Reptile Keepers, maybe somebody could persuade them to, but I really want some of their stuff. But I love blue tongue skinks. Have a look at this Argentine red tegu here. These guys are so cool. These are, Brian Barczyk calls these the bulldogs of the reptile world. She's friendly as hell. She's so friendly. He's so friendly. I'm petting her like there's nothing. Now, another reason I want to show you this tegu is because Florida, and I think Alabama, has just banned tegus. So I'm going to put a link for USARK Florida down in the description for USARK Florida. So support these guys. We're going to help try and fight this ban. I agree, we don't need to take them out of the wild. They breed so well in captivity. Got a bunch of huge paint jobs. But I'm going to put a link for USARK Florida. We need to fight this ban because tegus. Now they should rather have you make you register your pet with your state instead of outlawing it. That would be a much better solution. I love tegus, and it's so cool to see this cute little monkey here. This little monkey's happy to be on my camera. This is a jungle carpet python, Morelia spiloides. I think spiloides. I think it could be. Which one?
Yes, correct.
The jungles. These guys are they've found a bunch of albinos in Australia. As you know, there's no export out of Australia. But here in the States, or in South Africa, or in any other regions that are outside of Australia, there's the super zebras, we've got the zebras. These guys are so arboreal in the wild, these guys would love to climb. Believe it or not, carpet pythons are classified as invasive in South Africa, which is complete nonsense. They won't ever be a problem there. But I love carpet pythons. They do get pretty big, so these are for what I call advanced keepers. This afternoon you kept blood pythons for a while, just after you kept ball pythons. So if you want to start off with a ball python, then a blood python, and then a carpet python, and this is the bridge between a blood python and a Burmese python if you have experience. But I love carpet pythons. Again, I think some places are trying to outlaw these, so I'm going to put a link for USARK, the regular USARK. So we got to support USARK no matter what we do to try and fight these bans. I love carpet pythons, and it's cool to see this animal right here at Repticon. This is certainly a unique animal I've seen here at Repticon. This is a rough knob-tailed gecko. These guys are found in Australia, another Australian species that we're lucky to have here in the US. Now, another reason I want to show you guys this, guys, is yes, you guys can keep them in racks, much like your leopard gecko, but the US Fish and Wildlife has just banned the importation out of Germany and export. So many countries around the world won't be able to get these from us. So I think we need to, I'm going to put a link in the description of my YouTube video for USARK, the United States Association of Reptile Keepers. Phil Goss, the president, is a good guy, I've heard. I love knob-tailed geckos. These guys can be kept on sand. They eat mostly bugs, so crickets. I'd probably avoid mealworms, much like a leopard gecko. So waxworms. So these are cool. I like the banding on these guys though. These guys are pretty cool Australian species. Cool to see here at Repticon. You guys know how much I love monitors. I love Asian water monitors. I love Nile monitors. This is a full-grown red Ackie monitor, Varanus acantharis. I think this is acantharis. You know, these guys are another Australian species. You guys know how much I love. You guys are looking for a monitor lizard. You guys are in an apartment or you're new, this is your first monitor, but this is a great spot. These are also called spiny-tailed monitors because of how spiny they are there. Look at him lying there, he's so chill. These guys are pretty chill for the most part. So if you guys are looking for a monitor and this is your first monitor lizard, an Ackie monitor could be for you. They eat much like a beard. Well, they're not omnivores, they're primarily carnivorous. You can feed them rodents, bugs, but you make sure you gotta dust the bugs. These guys are so cool. You got many kinds of species. You got the red, the yellows. These guys are from, I think, the Queensland area, I think. But I love monitor lizards. They are so cool. And they can even be taught to learn their names, believe it or not. That is pretty damn cool. This is an Argentine boa constrictor occidentalis.
Yes!
These guys are found in Argentina, Paraguay, and many other surrounding areas. These guys are probably the biggest of the boa constrictor species.
Yes.
These guys get pretty thick, but I've seen something as thick as my arm.
Yeah.
I love boa constrictors. These guys are really what I call advanced snakes. So if you guys have kept a Kenyan sand boa for a while, and then maybe a Dominican boa, sorry, not a Dominican boa, like a viper boa for a while. This is the bridge between a viper boa and a green anaconda or a yellow anaconda. These guys get pretty big, so you got to have a big enclosure.
Yep.
These guys are pretty cool snakes. I love boa constrictors. This is one of the first snakes I ever owned. I love Argentine boas. It's cool to see this Argentine right here at Repticon. My favorite allelic ball python morphs. This is a Mystic Potion. This is a Mojave Mystic. Both co-dominant traits. You get this Mojave. When you breed two Mojaves together, you get his blue-eyed leucistic. There's no Mystic Potion, unfortunately, because if you breed when you breed a Mystic Potion to a normal, you get 50% Mystics and 50% Mojaves, much like a freeway. So oftentimes you have something like a Super Pastel. You breed normal, you get 50 all pastels. But if you breed something like a Bumblebee to a normal, you get 25% bumblebees, 25% spiders, 25% pastels, and 25% normals. With this, it's 50% mystics, 50% Mojaves. This is a really enhancing allelic trait. You breathe this into freeway, this thing is gonna make one beautiful snake. And this could be even possibly het red axanthic, another co-dominant trait. I love coming to expos and showing off bearded dragons. This is a leatherback citrus tiger. Leatherback is linked to the scaleless bearded dragon that gets way too much het. Well, this is a pretty cool cat sitting on the laptop. No, it's a bearded dragon. Now, the citrus and the tiger is polygenic, so it takes years and years of breeding. It's a beautiful animal. This is the best pet lizard for kids. Moms like bearded dragons because they encourage salad eating and veggie eating. These guys are omnivores. They would eat bugs. You don't want to feed rodents. You don't want to feed mealworms. But you want to feed crickets. Viterbug is the best place. Believe it or not, they recently had an albino bearded dragon in Australia, which I think sucks that I won't be able to own one because there's just no export out of Australia. These are really cool animals. You guys are looking for a cool lizard. You guys are a beginner. A bearded dragon could be for you. Am I getting bitten? This is a pastel lesser pinstripe lace. The lace gene is co-dominant. When you breed a lace together, you get a white lace, which is really cool. The pastel and the lesser mix together really well with pinstripe, which is a kingpin. Brian Barczyk from Snake Bites TV, link for his channel down in the description, show him some love, produced the first pinstripes. This is another snake I like to show off. It's a blade clown. Mark Mandick in Canada produced the first blades.
Yeah.
The clown is a recessive trait. It really mixed together well with other stuff.
Yeah.
The pattern here looks like a clown tail. A clown. You mix other stuff with clown together like lesser. This is going to pop even more. These two snakes are beautiful in their own right. I love pastel. I love lesser. The lesser is linked to the blue-eyed leucistic, so this is pretty cool to see the snake here at Repticon. This is a T-positive albino blood. The T stands for tyrosinase positive, so you get it's like a caramel hue to it, a little purpley hue. I love blood pythons. Well, blood pythons are known to be very aggressive snakes, so these are for intermediate snakes. This is a bridge between like I said, a bridge between a ball python and a carpet python. Blood pythons, some people call them blood pythons because of the colors. Some people call them because I like to draw blood. They get really thick. I've seen some that are really chunky. They can be a little bit defensive, but blood pythons, feisty monkey. Now, if you want this is kind of a bridge between a ball python and a carpet python, like I said. So if you guys are looking for, you have some experience, a blood python could be for you. This is a beautiful snake. This is a ghost IMG boa constrictor, het call. The ghost gene is a anery hypomelanistic. Usually hypomelanism is a recessive trait, but what's interesting with boa constrictors and Burmese python, it's co-dominant. Super berm is an ivory berm. Super hypo berm is an ivory. Super hypo boa is like very limited pattern, almost patternless, but a few bow ties every now and then. Now, the IMG was produced right here in Maryland by Peter Paul. Pete bought a boa in Florida. And as it got older, it turned jet black. One of the reasons I don't like breeding anything is the IMG boa, because most of the pattern just fades away. But IMG boas are cool. Let's hope can't wait to see this thing in the future. All right. You know I love reptile expos. I love showing off Burmese pythons. This is a pearl Burmese python. This is an albino hypo. With albino hypos and boa constrictors is sunglow. Burmese pythons it's pearl. Everything else is hibino. Now the pearl berm. Now the albino was produced by Bob Clark back in the early 80s. This was really what pioneered the reptile hobby, was the albino berm. Like about hypo, And the hypo link is linked to the ivory berm, which is pretty cool. The reason I want to show you guys a berm, I always love showing berms, is right now Florida and Georgia have outlawed Burmese pythons. They're no longer allowed to sell them, you're no longer allowed to keep them. So the ones that you have now are grandfathered in, you like to have a permit. So I'm going to put a link for USARK and USARK Florida again. Again, the link is going to be in the description. Make sure you guys go show that channel, show them some love, because we want to fight these bands, because these snakes are just so cool. I love Burmese pythons.
Visual albino.
So this is an albino, lavender albino, NT negative albino, anaconda hognose. This is one of the few co-dominant traits in hognose, along with the sable. The super anaconda is like almost patternless. This is a double recessive co-dominant. So the thing I like about hognose snakes is that they're great beginners, but however, you got to be careful of their saliva, because I've heard stories of people's whole arms swollen up. And then we've got another one here. That's the super
albino anaconda, super conda.
An albino super conda is almost patternless. We got a few spots on the head there. These guys puff up. They almost remind me of a puff adder. So you guys are looking for a good beginner species. A hognose could be for you, but you got to be careful. So I've heard stories, but if you can pass the saliva, it's going to be a great beginner snake to eat rodents. But if you do want to feed other stuff, like maybe frogs from time to time, but these guys are primarily rodent eaters. Cool animals right here. Let's see what else we can see at Repticon. This is a ivory ball python. This is ivory pinstripe leopard. Have a look at the pattern here. It's almost white. Believe it or not, the ivory ball python, when it was first produced, Peter Call from Peter Call Reptile sold it to Chad Brown. All your Patriots fans? Just kidding, yeah. I sold it for $125,000 back in the day. These snakes were really cool. I love the ivory gene because it's all white. I love white snakes. I love blue-eyed leucistics, black-eyed leucistics, but I love ivories. The thing about ivory, the patterns almost fades. You got a little bit of pattern here, you can see barely, but I love ball pythons. This is the perfect pet snake for you guys, for beginners. So here we got a Dumerel's boa. This is from the island of Madagascar. Dave Kaufman right now is in Madagascar filming. I can't, Dave, if you're watching this video, I can't wait for that video to come out. So Dumerel's boas don't get as big as a boa constrictor, but if you guys are looking for a boa, this is the kind of a bridge, another option if you want looking for a bridge between a viper boa and an anaconda. These guys don't get as big as a boa constrictor, but I love Dumerel's boas. I love the pattern on them. You guys can go to Madagascar. These guys would blend so well. These guys are constrictors, much like other boas, but I tell you, Dumerel's boas these are really hardly see these at all, but they are just as cool as a boa constrictor. I love Dumerel's boas. This is such a cool sighting here at Repticon. What's my favorite base morph in any animal? Is this right here. This is the pied, but this is a vanilla pied. The vanilla gene is co-dominant. The piebald is recessive. You get different. The pieds are very polymorphic. You can get high whites, low whites, medium whites, medium blacks. But I love piebald ball pied. Look, we got a little bit of emoji there almost, because that's one of the snakes that have been really trending in the social media is the smiley face. Now the vanilla is co-dominant. The super vanilla is like a little less pattern, a little lighter. But you add another gene to piebald ball pythons, they would pop even more like a pastel banana. They mix together very well. I love piebald ball pythons. I heard there's a piebald population in Africa somewhere. I'm not 100% sure if that's true, but this is a pretty cool snake. So here we've got a black pastel Mojave clown. The black pastel is part of the allelic with the cinnamon. A lot of super black pastels come up with a few kinks, but some of them do live. We've got the clown that's recessive, the Mojave that's co-dominant. Like I said, when you breed a Mojave to a Mojave, you get a super Mojave, which is a blue-eyed leucistic. And I think they mix together really well to produce this really cool pattern here. We got the clown. Now, like I said, the clown pattern comes from this tail here that looks like a clown. But I like clown ball pythons because I really like seeing clown ball pythons, other genes like a phantom and other stuff. But this is a really beautiful clown ball python right here at Repticon. So we got a spiny-tailed iguana, feisty monkey. Can you hold still, please? Oh, look at that, he's getting feisty. Look at that, this feisty monkey is fired up right now. Spiny-tailed iguanas are really for intermediate or advanced keepers or intermediate. So this is I think this might be a little bit of a bridge between a desert iguana and a rhino iguana. These guys are not as aggressive as the green iguanas, but you don't have to have such a high basking spot if you want a green. These guys are more terrestrial. Now, these guys are invasive in Florida, believe it or not. There are some spiny-tailed iguanas in Florida. So Florida, as you know, has banned iguanas. So I'm going to put a link, again, like I said before, the link is going to be in the description for USARK Florida. We need to help band together and fight that ban, because these are great animals. But I think Florida should rather institute a permit system, have your animal registered with the state, so they're concerned about him being a problem. But this is such a beautiful animal. Have a look at this little monkey. This is a Central American boa. You guys don't get as big as a Colombian. You guys are looking for a boa constrictor. This is kind of a bridge between a Kenyan sand boa if you are a beginner like a Kenyan sand boa, before you get into the stuff like the Colombians or the Argentines. This guy's slightly bigger than a ball python. But look how small this monkey is. Look how beautiful they are. I love boa constrictors, as you know, it's one of my first snakes, but Central Americans are the way to go if you don't want something that gets that big. A Central American could be for you. Here we've got a Enchi Sugar Champagne. Enchi genus codominant. Super Enchis have a little reduced pattern. There's also possibly het for VPI Axanthic and possibly het for clown. The champagne was produced in Ghana by Emmanuel Noah. The sugar was produced by Brian of Snakebites TV at BHB Reptiles. And the Enchi, I think, was produced in Sweden at Sweetball. I love Enchi Dean. You add something. Now, the thing that's interesting with champagnes is like, a lot of times the pattern fades, but here, as you can see here, we still got the pattern here. But I love ball pythons. I love the Enchi Dean with other stuff too. It's not just ball pythons. Enchi Pastel, Enchi Super Pastel. Enchi is really cool. Brian, I'm like you, I really like Enchi. So here we got an Ambioli Panther Chameleon. I love Panther Chameleons. Now, one of the common mistakes people make is that chameleons change color to blend in with their surroundings. They don't blend in. They change color depending on their mood, but they will blend in with, act like a leaf whenever they try. Now, chameleons are not the best handling animals. They're really good display animals. A lot of times you want to have a screen cage. They do eat bugs. They would shoot their tongues out at their prey. They would eat insects. In captivity, you can feed them crickets, not mealworms, maybe a housefly, but probably wouldn't recommend it. But the truth is, they're not really good handling. They do stress out easily. They don't live that long. But they have a really good display animal in your living room. Really cool animal. Look at that monkey crime. This is another Central American boa, same species I just showed before. Central American boas, like I said, don't get as big as a boa constrictor, but this locality is from Nicaragua. My pastor's husband's from Nicaragua, which is kind of cool. And now boas, if you want a boa, but you don't want something that gets 8+ feet long, well, this is about a baby. You guys get slightly bigger than a ball python, so you don't want to have something that's too big. I love Central America's boas. Look at the pattern on this cute snake here. This is so cute. I love boa constrictors. I hope to get some Central Americans in my collection soon. What do we got here? Axolotls. We got a leucistic. If you guys don't know, the word leuco is Latin for white. So the recessive straightened axolotls. This is what it normally look like. This is a more melanistic one here. But if you guys are looking for an axolotl, you guys got to have a good filtration system. You need to have. You guys remember that video I did at the cafe in Florida? Reach out. We'll put a link for that video. You got to check it out. Axolotls, believe it or not, they lose a limb. It can regenerate, which is really cool. So it's going to be used in medical research. So I love axolotls. Again, not for everyone. So you guys have the space. You guys have the filtration. This is make a really cool pet. Well, you can't handle it though. When oftentimes people think of New Caledonia, I think of the crested geckos or the leeches. This is another New Caledonia gecko. This is a gargoyle gecko. This is one of their own. This is a great beginner gecko. If you guys are looking for a gecko, but they do need an arboreal rack system. They do eat rodents, insects, and fruit. So, you guys looking for a cool gecko? A gargoyle gecko could be for you. These guys really like to jump too, so they'll jump out of your hands into your other hand, which is so cool. I like the red on this animal here. Look how beautiful. These geckos are so cool. I love gargoyle geckos. This is Eric Cartman squealing when he's about to get a shot. No, it's just a cute little pig. Cartman, stop squealing. You guys know how much I love South Park. Looks like we got an albino berm. This is Angla Ansung. No, that's his nickname. This is another albino granite berm. Angla Ansung is a one championship fighter. His nickname's the Burmese Python. I love Burmese Pythons, so even though Angla, you're still one of my favorite fighters in one championship, but I hope to see you to the UFC sometime soon. But back to the berm. I'm putting a link for USARK Florida for the last time. This is the last time I'm going to talk about it at this show. USARK Florida is trying to fight the ban. They've banned Burmese pythons in the state of Georgia, Arkansas, and Florida. So we need to stand together to fight this ban. Albino granites are cool. Double recessive, granite, albino, Bob Clark. The truth is, I love Burmese pythons. I never get sick of showing them off. This is the first time we've ever seen a scaleless head ball python. You guys know how much I love scaleless snakes. Yeah. Scaleless snakes get way too much hate at times because people say, oh, it's horrible, I want to buy it and put it out of its misery, it's sick, and whatnot.
Well, this one is het piebald and 66 lavender albino.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that, but we got a blade as well. Scaleless ball pythons really don't deserve the hate they get. They're beautiful snakes in their own right.
Well, I got two at home.
Look at this little feisty monkey. This is a super pastel cinnamon bamboo banana. The bamboo gene is linked to the blue-eyed leucistic. This is a super pastel. We have cinnamon and banana, all co-dominant traits, except, well, we got the super pastel. It should be a cinnamon to cinnamon. a lot of times they would have a king that's almost jet black snake, but I love this snake here. I like the pattern here, I like the colors and the contrast. I think this is pretty cool. I love bamboo, banana, pastel, real enhancing genes. You add something like fire to this and yellow belly, this snake is going to pop. This is a beautiful, beautiful ball python. Again, Florida wants to ban ball pythons as well, I heard. So I'm going to put a link for USARK Florida so we can all fight this ban. We don't want any animals getting banned more, because these snakes are so amazing. They don't deserve the bad reputation they get. But ball pythons are just as cool as Burmese. I love ball pythons. This is the last snake I'm going to show you. I'm going to head out. Let's see what else you can see.